It's never getting any better than this. It's Gutter Trash, episode 327. The Rattler, by Jason McNamara and Greg Hinkle. My name is Eric.
I'm Jason. So it's McNamara?
I guess.
I had no idea how to pronounce that name. McNamara.
It's one of the two.
Yeah.
I think mostly is called McNamara. But what do I know?
What do either one of us know?
Not a lot.
No.
I do know that this is a very misleading title of the book.
The Rattler?
The Rattler. There are no snakes in this comic.
No snakes.
Whatsoever.
No Cobra airplanes.
Nope. Not even a baby Rattler.
No. Right? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So why is it called the Rattler?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Jason McNamara can tell us, A, how his name is pronounced,
Right.
and B,
Why
why
it's
it's called the Rattler.
Maybe it's one of those things where there's not very many unused titles out there in the world.
That's true. Yeah.
Maybe he was just like looking through a very short list of titles
Right,
that have never been used for anything.
Oh, I'm sure it's probably been used already.
Right. I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's like a...
Probably not a comic, though.
Probably not a comic, but I'm sure there's like a D-list horror movie,
Oh, there's gotta be.
you know, about like
A
evil
snake
snakes.
man,
Right, yeah.
The guy that dresses in snake skins and
Sure, yeah.
does terrible things.
Yep. As most men who dress up in snakeskins do.
Most. Not all.
Not all.
Most.
Yeah. Hashtag not all men. So before this, we were just discussing that there's going to be a local podcast festival here in
our hometown.
in our hometown of Dayton, Ohio, and
Where we've been doing a podcast for 8 years.
yep, we have to be one of the first, if not the first, in this area.
In the town, yeah.
Right, yeah. Kind of like, hey, why didn't we get any kind of recognition or invitation? As your dog is climbing up on you after constantly chewing on a bone.
Right.
And
During our recording.
During our recording. And I believe also there was the sound of a toilet flushing. So, come on, guys. What's the deal?
Yeah, we've got stuff that no one else has. Where else can you hear toilets and dogs on a podcast? I don't think the Gym City Gym City podcast has that.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah.
That's weird. My brain just, like, as soon as I say the word Gym City, I want to say Comic-Con. Sure. Because that's the only thing I think of when I think of Gym City.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that Dayton is apparently the Gym City?
There's a lot of gyms here.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't even know where that comes from, and I have done a lot of research on Dayton history.
For sure.
Like, I guess maybe there was a time when people were finding gyms.
I don't know.
But I've never read anything about it.
Like, I know the first time I ever heard about it was, probably about 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a Gym City Records.
Yeah.
In the Oregon district.
Right.
I think that's the first time I ever heard of that. And, I didn't even associate it with, it's because that's the city's nickname.
Right.
Like, it was just like, oh, it's just the name of the record store.
Right, yeah, me too.
Right.
Yeah. I shopped there before I ever knew it had anything to do with the city.
Yeah. But then, then I found out that apparently that's
our thing.
That's our thing.
Yeah.
And apparently Cincinnati is the Queen City.
Right.
Which I don't understand that either.
Well, the Queen of the United States was born in Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that does make sense.
God save the Queen.
And then, so I guess, the gems in her crown come from Dayton?
That's very possible.
Yeah.
It follows, yeah. Just like Kings Island is in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very near the Queen. He had to have his own island, though, because sometimes she just got to him.
Sure.
He had to have a little place to hang out. That's our mascot, Edna, drinking water. Yeah, this is good stuff.
I think it's probably for the best that we weren't invited because
we couldn't bring our whole entourage.
Exactly, we could not bring this to the live podcast experience.
They're like, where's that soundboard you have where you push those buttons and like a toilet flushes and like a dog drinks? Like that's hilarious. Like we didn't bring it.
Oh man. So we're at your house again.
Yeah, back at my mom's house.
Yeah. Yeah. We probably should have run her around outside for a while. Yeah.
She was kind of sleepy while we were eating. We had a pizza before we started recording, and I was like, "Oh, she seems a little sleepy. This is good."
Yeah.
She kind of woke up.
Yep.
I have a dog named Edna. She's a boxer. Many of you might know boxers. Kind of crazy.
Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah. Full of energy and stupidity and insanity and love.
And apparently that doesn't go away.
No.
Never. Yeah.
Never.
Because, a friend of mine has like a 15-year-old boxer who she says still is just
acts like a puppy.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yep. So, the Rattler.
The Rattler.
Yeah.
It's an Image original graphic novel.
Yes, it is. Not a ton of those out there in the world.
No, not really.
So it's pretty unique in that aspect.
Yeah. It's brand new, right?
I believe so. It came out like a month ago.
Okay.
Something like that.
We never got this at Mavericks.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I had never heard of it before.
Okay. Well, I had actually told you about it when it was solicited.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were both big fans of Airboy.
Right. Greg Hinkle's artistry on that book.
Yeah. So I said, hey, that guy has a new comic coming out. And I guess you never ordered it.
Well, I don't do the Image orders. So I should have tacked one on though.
You should have, at least. Because we know the guy that does the Image orders is not exactly the greatest.
Oh yeah, he's good. He's good. He just like something like this that's like a standalone graphic novel usually doesn't sell as well at our store.
I get that.
But I feel like this one would have.
Yeah.
Just because of the art alone.
Sure. It's a striking cover.
It is a very striking cover. It's like a image of a ghost lady in red.
Yeah.
And her human husband who's mourning her loss.
Yeah.
Walking around soaked in blood.
And carrying a crowbar.
Yep.
Also soaked in blood.
Also soaked in blood.
So we're looking at just a humorous jaunt.
Yeah.
But no, I like Jeremy, who we're talking about, a bit, but he does have some questionable tastes at times. Yeah.
Well, we all do.
Yeah, well, sure. But undying devotion to 1992's Wildcats comics.
Sure.
It could be a hindrance in some instances.
Well, we all have our guilty pleasures.
That's true. Well, I don't believe his is a guilty pleasure.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no.
And also, I don't believe in guilty pleasures.
Right.
Yeah. You like what you like.
I mean, every once in a while, though, you like something, you're like, I don't know why I like this.
Well, sure, but...
Like, there's the show Dark Matter. Have you ever seen that?
I have not.
I've seen, the first, 5 episodes. My girlfriend and I have been watching them. And I would call that, what people commonly refer to as a guilty pleasure.
Okay.
It's not very good.
Right.
But I can't stop watching it.
I mean, I've got a lot of shows like that I watch, that are, comics even, that Teen Wolf.
Right. Sure.
That's probably my one go-to that I can point to.
Right.
Where it's I have, this is a show not made for me. I am not in the demographic that should be watching this show. There is nothing about it that should keep bringing me back. But yet I do. But I don't feel guilty about it.
Right.
It's, admittedly terrible.
Well, no, you don't feel guilty, but you are guilty of finding pleasure in it. I think that's what it is.
That's not what a guilty pleasure is.
No. Ow. But Rattler, Rattler is not a guilty pleasure.
No, it is not. Yeah, it's kind of a crime story, kind of a no, don't drink my beer.
But I'm thirsty. Sorry.
Down. Off.
Yeah, the Rattler.
Yes.
It's a okay. So basically, this guy, Mr. Thorn, what's his name? Richard Thorn.
Stephen Thorn.
Stephen Thorn.
Yeah.
His wife and him are like
His girlfriend.
his girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. It starts out 10 years ago, and they're taking a trip, and their car breaks down, and they're kind of stranded out in like a desert road, and then a good Samaritan comes by to help them out.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Sure. But things go south.
Right.
Yeah. The woman tow truck driver basically kidnaps the girlfriend, stranding Stephen out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And having lost everything.
Right. His car, his girlfriend,
Yep.
his mind. Sorry.
Yeah, kind of. So then we cut to like the present day, and he has become like a sort of a political advocate for like criminal reform laws.
Right.
He appears on talk shows and promotes his books. And there's even something called the Thorn Law, which
I never understood exactly what it was.
I didn't either.
It's something to do with like what police are allowed to do when they think someone is in danger.
Yes, that's kind of what I get, but
I couldn't figure it out.
Like they will chemically castrate prisoners,
Right.
like if they're like accused rapists or whatever.
Right.
So kind of a totalitarianism kind of law, like
Yeah.
at least as far as like criminals and crime go.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not entirely clear exactly what it is.
Yeah, they kind of allude to it, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a major part of the story. They just kind of allude that he has some sort of clout.
Yeah. Basically, taking this tragedy that happened to him and his girlfriend and using it to basically, sort of
Political reform.
yeah, and make a change in the world. Whether it's for the best or not is left up to you. But yeah, that's not really the point of this book.
Yeah, he's basically convinced that his girlfriend is Catherine, was her name? That she's still alive.
Yeah.
And although there's no proof that
Yeah, he just kind of part of it is that sort of thing where you're just kind of constantly holding out hope.
Right.
It's maybe the only thing that you have left.
Right.
But
So he even after 10 years, he's still kind of trying to find her.
yeah. Catherine is her name, yes. But now he's rich and he's famous, and so it kind of starts where he's out promoting his latest book or whatever, and gets a phone call that his father is dying, and we get the sort of idea that his family is maybe not the greatest,
Right.
but he does his duty, and he visits his dad just before he dies, and his father passes away, and as that happens, Catherine speaks through the corpse of his father.
Right. Which is bizarre.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much where the rest of the story takes off.
Right. Yeah. You find out basically he can hear his either dead or missing girlfriend's voice through corpses.
Yes, and so it sets him on a road trip trying to find where she might be, because
She mentions some of the
landmarks and
sites that she sees.
and using basically the access that he has via his own laws, that he basically tracks down like a couple of different places where she might be, and so it's him basically out looking for her. And also, maybe to get revenge against the person that, kidnapped her.
Oh, you gotta have revenge.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's also about his publicist and employee and
her involvement.
And her involvement, trying to keep him out of trouble and
put a positive spin on his. She wants to like have some sort of a press release about him visiting his dying father, but she thinks it'll be good for book sales, and she's kind of got some ulterior motives.
Sure, but you get the feeling that she has his best intentions in mind,
right?
And also to not make his company look in a bad light either,
right?
But then, after that, it gets really spoilery, and I don't know how much I really want to talk about that.
Yeah, there's some pretty big twists.
Yeah.
Some of which I think you can kind of see coming down the road.
Sure.
If you've read the first 20, 30 pages.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about the story, because I honestly didn't really care that much for the story.
Okay.
I thought the story was okay.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing, like, terrible about it, but there was nothing that I was like, wow.
Right.
Like, I never had a wow moment, in regards to the story.
I feel like I'm pretty much on the same page with you there.
Right.
It's a perfectly fine story.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
This is, just a good afternoon reading comic.
Exactly.
If this was a movie and it was on TV, like, I wouldn't turn it off.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I know how it's going to play out, but I'll let it play out.
Exactly, yeah.
But the weird thing is, at the end of the book, there's like this 2-page text piece.
Yeah.
Where Jason McNamara basically says this is inspired by a true event that happened to him.
Yeah.
Which kind of is insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did that really happen?
I don't have any reason to not believe him.
I mean, it doesn't have all of the same elements in the story.
No, there's a different ending.
But it's basically the same beginning, where someone tries to do something really creepy.
Yep.
Out in the middle of nowhere to him and his lady?
I think it was just a friend of his.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's a good way to, like, process that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Turn it into a story. See how it... Like, he basically took this nugget of this weird thing that happened to him and then, like, let it play out in the darkest and most horrendous way.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And then just wrote that out
right.
as a, like a, I don't know.
Almost a revenge fantasy,
right.
but not really either. Like just just took it through the darkest universe.
That was definitely the most interesting part of the writing.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah. And it's not bad. It definitely isn't bad. It's just.
I've read worse, and I will continue to do so.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's. Yeah, there's nothing amazing about the actual story and the storytelling, except for the art.
Yes.
The art is amazing.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I think it's a 12.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Man, where the hell did Greg Hinkle come from?
Right? And God bless you, Greg Hinkle, for coming from there to us. Because it's amazing.
I've never heard of him before, Airboy.
Yeah.
And I am so glad that I have. Because I will, between just the look of this and Airboy itself, I'm going to read everything that this guy draws from now on.
The way he draws fingers makes me want to read everything he does for the rest of his life. And he is one of the best users of gray tones I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
He is a master already.
Right. I will say this, this is mostly black and white with gray tones.
And some red for the blood.
But that's the thing I was going to bring up. I didn't even realize, halfway through that the blood was in color.
Right.
That's how amazing the art is.
Yeah, usually because I've seen books like that before that are black, white, red, like some Sin City and some other things.
Right.
And they usually just hit you over the head with it.
Exactly.
But it is so subtly done in this that you don't even notice it until you've read like 5 pages of black
bloody characters running around.
Like, wait a minute, the blood is in red.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so well done. And seriously, just the tones and the shadows that he gets with just these grays, it is mind blowing.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And I know he did everything in this for the most part, as far as art goes, right? Yeah. But, like with Airboy, did he color that as well?
I don't remember, honestly. I don't remember.
I think he did, because like that had a very distinct look too.
Oh, yeah.
Like most of it was
like like a blue and like kind of a sea blue.
Yeah. Very two-tone, but then like, when the fantasy world encroaches, like it's in full color.
Right.
And it's just mind-blowing what he
man.
did, if he did indeed color that, which I'm guessing he did.
Yeah. And like, the thing about this too, and like, I mean no disrespect to Mr. McNamara, but I swear, everything that I enjoyed about this, like, story, like, word-wise, like, I noticed on more than one occasion, like, anytime, like, I gleaned some sort of enjoyment out of something other than just marveling at the artwork.
Right.
It was still because of the artwork.
Sure.
Because there'd be panels where there'd be a caption, and you would read it, and it would, tell whatever information needed to be told. But the image that he chose to put with that was sometimes a little funny, like, just, there'd be, like, an image where a guy was searching through a car, and he was, like, finding the panties of this lady or something.
Right.
Just the way he would draw some of those things made me laugh, and just, they were brilliant. But if you look at the words in the same panel, if somebody else drew that, it might not be very enjoyable at all.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he put so much extra in there.
Right.
And I don't know. Maybe McNamara has a script Alan Moore style where he's like telling you every little detail.
Right.
I don't get that feeling.
I doubt that, yeah.
And I feel like Greg Hinkle just knows how to make a comic fun and good, even if it's like a dark story like this.
Right. Like, yeah. And, even Airboy took some dark tones too.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, and sorry, not to keep harping on Airboy, it's not the actual book we're reviewing, right? But,
But it was better than this.
It was, yeah. And part of that, I think, is because of James Robinson, of course.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah. But I mean, like, there was definitely an instance, I think, in the 3rd issue of that book that, like, brought me to, like, actual tears.
Right.
And just that combination of James Robinson writing from his heart and Greg Hinkle making it come alive.
Right.
And like, I had enjoyed his art up until that point anyway. Like he's amazing. He is an amazing artist. I cannot stress that enough.
Right. He's one of the best working today.
Yeah. But yeah, the fact that I would recommend this book solely based on his artwork.
Right.
And again, like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm just, it's like, yeah, Jason McNamara, whatever.
Yeah,
but
we're not shitting on him.
No, yeah.
Like, he's fine. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing, like, I have no complaints.
Exactly.
Other than, like,
It's a little predictable.
it's kind of predictable, and it's just kind of standard,
Yeah.
but it's not bad.
No, not at all. Yeah.
But-
But it is, drawn by anyone else.
Right? Like, could you imagine this was drawn, I don't know, just by some random guy that draws, like, Valiant comics or something? it would be horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, not horrible, but it would just, like, if you compared the two,
Exactly.
the change would be horrible. Like, yeah, his art is so cartoony. Like, it's super exaggerated,
Oh, yeah.
and like, there's a lot of crazy cartoon expressions on the faces of characters, but it is so amazingly well done. Like, there's like a flow of action. There's like a car chase in here that is one of the coolest car chases I've ever seen in a comic.
It is damn near impossible to have a good car chase in a comic.
It is, yeah.
And he pulls it off.
It's one of the best.
Yeah.
It's one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is the, what's that Steve McQueen movie? This is the Bullet of comic car chases.
But a lot more enjoyable than that movie.
Yeah, it is.
But there's some good car chases in that movie, though.
Yeah. No, it's... Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Like I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, the art is a 12.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, without, spoiling the entire thing, there's really not too much else to talk about the story.
Right. Yeah, just we can say it gets dark.
Yeah.
It gets weird.
Yeah.
There's a twist. There's maybe another twist.
Yeah.
One of which you probably see coming.
Sure.
But it's pretty well done.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that he wrote it based on something that happened to him, and he just changed it.
Right.
Like I really love that and respect that, and I think he's really cool and talented for doing that.
Yeah.
It's not an amazing story. It's just,
No, not
it's
at
just,
all.
It's
Yeah.
just like a good little thriller.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
No. But yeah, the fact that he, did base it on something that actually happened to him, reminded me a lot of James Abar and The Crow as well.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah,
that was
exactly. It's a lot like that. Of course, this one wasn't as nearly as tragic, but
No, yeah.
it was just like he was. I feel like he was like, well, that was a weird night.
Right.
And when he got home, he was like, I wonder where that could have went.
Right.
And he wrote it, and like that's awesome. That's really cool.
I mean, I'm sure the events as he describes, I'm sure that was scary as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Living through it, but that they were able to make it through. Yeah.
Because basically, someone tied a rope to the front of his bumper and tried to basically haul his car away.
Well, the events that play out in the comic, they broke down, and a good Samaritan came by to tow them to the nearest gas station or whatever, and the girl got in to steer the car, and he was in the back pushing, and the person had tied a rope instead of a chain to the car,
And it broke.
And it broke, yeah, and they were able to not get kidnapped, basically.
Right. Yeah, basically tried to kidnap the lady. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it does, the story kind of ends without spoiling it. It ends on, a really powerful, dark note where you really feel bad for this guy, and it's crazy, and it almost seems like there could have been a book 2 that immediately followed.
Yeah.
I don't think there is. I feel like that's the end of the story.
Yeah, I think so as well.
But it almost has kind of a Twilight Zone ending. A
little bit, yeah.
Where you're someone is in this terrible situation, and you kind of want to see how it plays out from there, but the note that they ended on is what they want to leave you with.
Yeah.
They want you to see this terrible situation at the end, and that's kind of what you're supposed to linger on. But
Right.
yeah, I didn't see the end coming, and I even had to read the end twice to figure out what it. I was like, oh, okay, after I read it a second time.
Yeah.
But it's dark.
It's very dark, yeah. There's humor within the book, too.
Mostly from the art, though.
Mostly from the art.
90%.
Yeah. But, even one of the characters is kind of, humorous.
Oh, the Elvis guy?
The Elvis guy.
Yeah, he's in this rockabilly band.
Yeah. And then, towards the end, there's even a cameo by James Robinson.
Oh, really? I didn't
Oh,
notice that. I didn't notice that.
It's,
James
yeah.
Robinson, if you don't know, is the writer of Airboy that
Yeah.
worked with Greg Hinkle, the artist of this book.
But yeah, so there's, it takes place in a hospital, and the orderly is going from room to room. He was like, hey, how's my favorite limey? Still besieged by flying spacemen.
Oh, I didn't realize that was... Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was supposed to be him.
Yep.
I wonder who that was, actually. So, yeah, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun book.
It is,
And it's one of the... Oh, okay, it's not one of the $10 Image books. A lot of Image number 1 graphic novels are cover priced at $10. This one's $15, but that's because it's not part of a series.
Right, yeah.
They do that just to try to bait you into buying the whole series.
But since there's no whole series, you just buy the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I think I paid maybe $8 for it. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally worth that.
Yeah. And, honestly, just to have more Greg Hinkle artwork.
Right.
It's totally worth, whatever the cost of it was. And again, like I said, the story is perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like... I mean, not that either of them will ever listen to this podcast,
Right.
but I feel like if James McNamara listens to this, not only will he most likely say you've been pronouncing my name wrong.
Right.
But he'll say like, well, shit, man, I tried. Come
Right,
on.
yeah.
What's wrong with it? And we're not saying it's bad.
No, not at all.
Like
This is totally worth reading.
Yeah, it's just like dead center in the middle for me.
Yeah.
Writing wise. Like,
Right.
there's nothing great or terrible about this story.
Exactly.
But the art is off the charts.
Exactly. Yeah. This is totally worth looking at. It is worth buying 40% for the story, 60% for the art. Maybe an even bigger gap.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking about getting into the world of comics as an artist, I would highly recommend taking a couple notes from how Greg Hinkle tells a story.
Oh, absolutely.
He is somebody to watch.
Indeed. Yeah. And like you said, I love the fact that his work is so cartoony.
Oh,
Because it's not a style that's very popular, among, your normal fans. Like
Right.
They want it all,
It's got to be super realistic.
Right. But everything in it is, so animated.
Oh, yeah.
And so expressive.
It is.
And
my absolute favorite comic art on the face of the planet is super cartoony, mixed with kind of dark and gritty and
right. And that's
dirty.
what this is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So it's like like Jeff Darrow and people like that.
Yeah.
People that you can tell they come from a cartoony background, but they want to inject like grittiness and weirdness and
Right.
quirkiness. Like that's the best for me.
Yeah.
Art Adams. Guys
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of good ones out there.
Mhm.
But, fans like what they like, I guess.
Yeah, you like what you like.
Yeah.
And
But,
I love this art.
Yeah. I don't think I've read anyone ever say anything negative about Hinkle's art up to this point.
How could you?
I am sure there's people who have.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
But, I think he's, I keep saying the word over and over again. He's amazing.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
If he started a religion, I would worship him.
Yeah.
If he wanted to marry me, I would marry him.
Yeah.
I would try to have his babies, even if it's physically impossible.
Right. All right. Want to go ahead and take a break then?
Yeah, we'll take a break. I
Sure.
could probably pee.
All right. Well, let's make sure we record that actually.
Oh yeah. That way we might be invited to podcast rallies. And all that. Okay, should I just pee right here?
Yeah,
Okay.
just right in your beer bottle.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's empty. Or almost. Let me just finish it. Let me just drink it on. welcome back to Gutter Trash.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, not too much.
So, I guess we could talk about Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Something I wanted to make sure we didn't forget to speak of.
I understand. Yeah. That was this past Saturday.
Yeah, the day before Mother's Day.
Yep. So you work at a comic shop.
I do.
So you've dealt with most every Free Comic Day, haven't you?
14 of the 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, that is not true. I was employed there for 14 of the 15.
Yeah.
But for like 3 years in a row, I was out of town on Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, yeah.
Which everybody hated.
Sure.
Other than me.
Right. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love Free Comic Book Day. I would just rather be at other comic shops.
Understand.
Like, getting free comics.
Sure.
And like usually TCAF, the Toronto Comic Art Festival, usually takes place on Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
And so I would be at TCAF a lot while everybody else was working. And I felt kind of bad about it, but it wasn't about escaping Free Comic Book Day for me. It was about attending
Going
TCAF.
to TCAF, right, yeah.
But this year I did not go to TCAF, and ironically, it's not on Free Comic Book Day this year.
Right.
It's this upcoming Saturday. But both events are amazing, and I was glad to at least be at one of them.
Okay.
This year, which was at our store on Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, so Mavericks usually has like a pretty big sale.
Yeah.
Like 50% off trades and graphic novels and discount on back issues.
Yeah, it was like 25% off back issues.
And toys. And you guys bother with discounts on like Magic and all that stuff?
We did a little bit.
Right.
Not much. It's more about the comics.
Exactly.
So,
like it should be.
Right, but we put discounts on just about everything.
Right.
It's kind of like, honestly, it's like the Blacker Friday. Like we do better on Free Comic Day than we do on Black Friday, for sure.
And usually you have like a costume contest.
Yeah, we had one this year.
Although I heard this year's was not as well attended.
We didn't really have too many contestants this year. Usually we have like, I'd say a dozen between the two categories at least. This year we only had like 6 people. We had probably a dozen people show up in costume, but only like 6 of them entered the contest. Yeah,
that's a little weird. I wonder what was different here.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what was different. Yeah.
I mean, it didn't really rain, so like I don't think
it was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it was supposed to rain, but
it
did not. But you were there as well.
I was. I came in and got some free comics.
No, you didn't. You came in and did free sketches.
I did. Yeah. So usually you have an artist kind of hanging around on Free Comic Day.
Sure.
And,
we always try to have at least one.
Right. And it's not about that. It's about the free comics. But, I think a lot of stores make an event out of the day.
Sure. It's like a party.
Yeah. And if, you have a local artist, you usually try to maybe see if they'll at least hang out and then do some sketches maybe.
Right.
And your usual artist backed out.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I got nothing better to do.
Sure.
Because you've invited me once or twice, and then, I'm a hateful, spiteful person, so I said no. Right? But, I'm trying to change some stuff about me.
Sure, yeah.
And I said, sure, I'll do this. Yeah. And it was a lot of fun.
It honestly could not have turned out better.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm not just saying this, I think you did an amazing job.
Thank you.
And I don't mean just the artwork, because you basically did one every 8 minutes.
That is essentially what it boiled down to.
Because you were there 4 hours and you did 29 free sketches.
Turns out I did 30.
Oh, you did 30?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd forgotten about one.
Which one did you forget?
Mr. Miracle.
Oh, okay. I never saw that one.
Yeah. That was probably one of the quicker ones that I did.
And the guy didn't have to pay for it?
Nope.
So he got away scot-free?
He got
You're welcome. But yeah, you did some amazing work, and like characters that you weren't necessarily familiar with. Like,
No, not at all.
Like Halo and Darth Vader.
Yeah, thank God for smartphones.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So before the show, I did with the 2 weeks leading up to the show. I did. I don't know why I'm calling it a show. The event, Free Comic Day. I did 29 sketches, to be just
Sort of reserve or whatever.
Yeah, like a couple people asked me for something, in particular, like 4 people. I had I did the sketches and then kept them off to the side until they showed up.
Sure.
But then I was like, well, what do the kids like?
Right.
And so basically,
I was in tune. I'm in tune with the kids. So
Sure.
I had to feed you some information.
You did.
Umbreon and whatnot.
Right. I drew a Pokemon.
Right. Is that the first time you ever drew a Pokemon?
When Pokemon was huge, my nephew was right at that right age.
Like in the late 90s.
Yeah, and I remember he once drew some Pokemon for me, so I can't imagine that I didn't get away with not drawing something for him. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I drew 29 different sketches to just basically I figure somebody will come up and want, Batman,
right.
and rather than, making a person wait around for, half an hour while I try to draw Batman, I'll have one ready for him, and he can just take that. So that's what I tried to do.
Yeah, you were like, okay, Civil War's out, so I'll draw Cap. And
Right, exactly.
Right.
Black Panther, Iron Man, yeah. And all but 4 of those were gone by the first hour.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, they disappeared.
Yeah. And yeah, I went into this thing thinking, okay, there's probably going to be 10 of these I'm going to take back home.
Right.
That nobody's going to want. And maybe 5 people will ask me to draw something special for them,
I saw one guy ask if he could have more than one.
Yeah. A couple people got away with more than one.
Oh, really?
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I didn't know. They were like, my brother's at home. That
sort of thing, but also, actually I found out about this on Instagram. Somebody took 2 and tagged me in a picture of the 2 sketches that they took.
Oh, you didn't know they took 2?
I did not know.
Wow.
Yeah.
They swindled you.
Part of the thing was that, people were just grabbing them, and I couldn't see who all was taking them.
For sure. Because you were drawing other stuff.
I was drawing other stuff, too. So those went pretty quickly, and then, people started asking for sketches, and so, Jack, the owner of the Mavericks, opened the store a little bit early.
Yeah, quarter till.
Yeah.
Which for him is good.
Yeah.
He likes to open as early as he can.
Right. I know he wanted to open just as I was taking a mouthful of donut.
Right? I know. It's crazy.
But yeah, so from 9:45 till 2 p.m., I was drawing. Nonstop.
I took one bathroom break.
I took one bathroom break. But yeah, and a couple, obviously people we know, came in and out of the store.
Right.
And I would talk to them, but I wouldn't stop drawing.
No, yeah. No, it was impressive.
And I drew 30 sketches in those 4 hours.
Right. Yeah. And they weren't just pencil sketches. I mean, you were inking them. A lot of them used markers to
I did
add color.
A little bit. Yeah. I had 3 color markers.
Yeah.
Which I will say this, I drew 2 different Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
But the only colors I had were red and blue.
So it was Raph and Leo.
Nope.
Really?
It was Leo and Donatello.
Oh, red and blue make purple.
Well, no.
Oh.
I just drew them both blue. Also, because the reference that I looked up, they both looked blue when I saw the picture of it.
Yeah.
Also, those are the 2 turtles that I like the least.
Oh, really? Raph and Donnie?
No.
Oh, Raph and Leo.
Yeah. Or no. Donnie and Leo.
Donnie and Leo?
Yeah.
Okay, because Raph and Donnie are my 2 favorites.
Mine are Raph and Michelangelo.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he's a party dude?
Yeah.
I just like Donatello.
I like the warm colors.
Right. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I just like Donatello's character because he's like kind of like the nerdy scientist kind of.
Right.
Yeah, I like him.
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember a ton of turtle stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Leo's like
Raph
the
is
leader.
Okay.
Raph is like the Wolverine.
Yes.
And Michelangelo's like, the party dude.
Well, yeah. But Raph has always been my favorite.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
There's no close second.
Yeah.
But Donatello is the second for me.
But yeah, man. And yeah, I got a lot of requests for characters I'd never even heard of.
Right. I saw some of those.
Yeah. And the weirdest. Somebody asked for like an anime character. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'm there to draw whatever anybody's asking for.
Right.
And like I said, got a smartphone, I can look it up online, It's a character by the name of Hinata from an anime called Haiku.
Okay.
Which I had a little bit of a crowd watching me draw, which at times was obnoxious, but at times was kind of fun.
Especially when it was all kids.
Yeah.
That was adorable.
Yeah. But there was a girl, a teenager, who was hanging out watching me draw. And so, I looked up Hinata, and, this character came up. I was like, oh, okay, whatever, And she saw the image on my phone and said, oh, that's a different Hinata? You want to actually search for Hinata Haiku. I was like, oh, okay. And so I did, and yeah, completely different characters, completely different animes.
Really?
2 characters named Hinata.
So is Hinata just Bob in
Japan?
Japan?
I don't know, yeah. But I will also say this, that it's just a dude.
Nothing special.
Nothing.
That makes it kind of hard to draw.
Yeah, it does.
When it's just like a dude. There's
Yeah.
no eye patch or robot arm or whatever.
Nothing.
Right.
He had a hoodie and a backpack.
Right, yeah. I mean, I have a hoodie and a backpack.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, just like a redheaded, clean-shaven cartoon dude.
Right, yeah. It's Archie.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And so I drew that. And I had a list at this point. And there was a kid who requested Ant-Man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Saw me draw the Hinata. Said, actually, instead of Ant-Man, can I have a Hinata too?
The same Hinata?
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
That was the only repeat
Hinata?
request.
Well, yeah, it's the most popular character in comics. I've never heard of him.
Nope. I mean, I did, I drew a couple of characters who I had done the pre-sketches.
Sure. Like Doctor Strange.
I did 2, I did a Doctor Strange, a Batman, Captain America. I think that was it. But, but yeah, there was 2 Halo requests, but different characters. Man, I hated drawing those.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's just all angles and
Right. Yeah.
no expressions.
Right, exactly. And I've just got a brush pen.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you can't really draw a lot of right angles with brush pens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just dudes in armor. Yeah.
Right.
But, I mean, they seemed relatively okay with what
Yeah,
I drew.
Yeah, I like the results. I saw them.
Yeah. But yeah, a couple anime characters I'd never heard of, a couple of Pokemon. But, it was fun overall.
Yeah, no, it was a blast.
Yeah.
It was a good day. Donuts, free comics, artwork.
Yeah.
Lots of cash flowing through there.
Yeah. Not to me, though.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
No, yeah, I did everything free.
Yeah.
A couple people asked for, how much, and I was like, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, if you're going to a comic store and getting free comics and you're still willing to spend money, you should buy something from that comic store.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And people did, man. I was reordering, restocking our walls today, back issues, trade paperbacks, and we have this $1 #1 rack, spinner rack by the register where we have, all the Marvel True Believers in the Image first books.
Right.
And it was decimated. We must have sold, $200 books.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. People, and those are readers. Those
Yeah.
are people trying new books.
Exactly.
So that's super cool.
And yeah, there's people who come in just to get the free comics and leave, but,
I swear there wasn't as much of that this year.
There was a lot of people that were just sticking around and looking for stuff. Like, that's awesome.
Every year that I've worked there, I remember people coming in and just grabbing books and darting out the door.
Right.
But yeah, there wasn't. I mean, there was some of it, but there wasn't that much of it this year.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it was more like everybody hung around and bought stuff or looked around.
I mean, when I left, there was a line at the cash register.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cool.
It was very cool. Yeah. And a lot of people buying graphic novels and trades. And, I mean, 50% off, you can't go wrong.
Right. Yeah. That's like what we pay for.
Exactly.
Yeah, we weren't making any money on those trades, but we were getting people to read books.
Exactly.
And, like, moving product.
Yep.
Some of those we won't replace because there were some that have been there a long time.
Right.
So it was nice to move some of those at half price. But yeah, overall, I mean, like, people like every Scott Pilgrim and Saga trade is like just gone. Like stuff like that. Stuff that people, love.
Right.
Perennial sellers. But yeah, that's fine. Batman and Deadpool, Harley Quinn, all those sections were decimated.
Right.
But yeah, it's cool.
You can't judge people.
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
People like what they like.
But we also sold like Drinky Crow and just like weird stuff
awesome.
that's been there for years. That
I know that I took that opportunity to pick up the new Jim Klaus book.
Yeah. Patience.
Yep.
Yeah.
Since it's been patiently waiting for me to buy it there at the store.
Oh.
That was a lot of fun. And then afterwards, after I left, myself and our good friend Joe G went and did some extra free comic book day shopping.
You hadn't had enough.
Nope. Well, I had enough of sitting and drawing.
Right. Sure.
I literally have not drawn a single thing since then.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was exhausted.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would also totally do it again this weekend if you had it.
Right?
Yeah.
What we do?
Oh, wow.
No.
I'm charging this time.
Right. It's $10 comic day.
Exactly.
Everything's $10.
Yep.
All the sketches, everything.
But no, it was a lot of fun.
Sweet. Well, we were glad to have you.
Well, thanks for having me.
I had a great time myself.
Nobody complained about me.
Not a one.
Not even when I just yelled at a kid.
Did you?
No.
No. Okay. So I didn't hear that.
Came close.
I think I know which kid. No, it was great. It was smooth, and like I said, it was probably the most lucrative free comic day we've ever had. So
that's awesome.
It works.
Yeah. Well, I know that was mostly because of me.
Oh, sure. Yeah. People see that name, Schomburg,
exactly.
They come running.
I mean, I was promoting that thing on social media for 2-3 weeks now.
Yeah.
All 4 of my followers.
All right. We appreciate every one of them. Yeah. It's good times.
Usually, Free Comic Day usually tends to fall on a weekend where there's like a major comic book movie coming out.
Yeah.
This year was Captain America: Civil War.
Sure. Which I have not seen yet.
Okay, all right. I saw that Thursday night prior to that, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good movie.
I've heard 99% positive reviews.
Yeah.
And that is from like 3,000 people.
Right, yeah.
So it's pretty good.
So how much of it have you had spoiled by now?
Very little, actually.
Well, that's cool.
Surprisingly so. I mean, there's a couple things I didn't really want to know, but...
Right.
But yeah, overall. I'll probably see it this coming Tuesday, so hopefully I'll see it before any spoilers come my way.
Sure. Well, you're not on the Facebook or the Twitter or anything like that, so you do get to miss out on a lot of that there. And I don't know if it's just because I've seen the movie at this point that I'm noticing so many people are just putting spoilers out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it doesn't bother me because I've already seen it.
Sure.
But at the same time, well, if I hadn't seen it,
right.
A, would I notice it, and B, I know I would be pissed if I did.
I mean, I guess it's been a week tomorrow. Still,
that's still not enough time.
Right. Yeah.
My spoiler bubble.
Right.
Is 6 months after DVD release.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I'm with you there because that's usually when I still haven't seen Ant-Man.
Right.
So, and it's not, like, I'm not trying to avoid it. I want to see that movie.
Right, yeah. Well, you've got 1 more month before I start spoiling it for you.
Okay. Has it been 5 months?
It came out on DVD in December,
Oh, okay.
so, yeah.
You know, I just found out today that the Deadpool Blu-ray, which came out today, or yesterday, has a Liefeld commentary track.
Oh, God.
And I'm so excited to hear that. Like up until I heard that, I was kind of like, I'll maybe see that movie. I don't know. And I'm like, okay, I have to see that movie.
Well, you should see that movie, because it's great.
Mm-hmm.
But, really... The guy barely had anything to do with that character.
He created the character?
Barely had anything to do with that character.
Deadpool wouldn't be the character you know today without Rob Liefeld's hand.
Rob Liefeld merged Spider-Man's and Deathstroke's costumes and called it Deadpool.
Love it.
And then years later, other people made him Deadpool.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I will watch the movie and then immediately watch the
commentary.
Right. Yeah.
The movie's great.
It looks
Rob Liefeld or no.
right?
Preferably no.
Isn't he? He's actually like in the film, right?
He does have a cameo in it.
See, okay, I'm in.
But he's not drawing anything in it. It's just him and his ugly mug.
I love his ugly mug, though. So I don't know. He's great. He's one of those people. He's kind of polarizing, and I get, and I get it because like he said some things before that. I mean, he's very opinionated and inflammatory with his remarks, but I do respect where he comes from. Like he does kind of speak his mind, whether he's right or wrong.
Yeah, there are better artists and writers out there who also do the same.
I have so much enjoyment of his artwork, though. He's good. He's fun.
So let's see, what else?
What else? Other than Liefeld?
Other than Liefeld.
I think it stops at Liefeld.
All right. Yeah, you seen or read anything recently that struck your fancy?
Not really. I mean, honestly, I haven't really watched or seen anything. I've read a couple mini comics, but nothing that blows my mind.
Yeah, I've been watching mostly television programs, catching up on. Captain America is the last movie I've seen, which again I really enjoyed. I picked up a couple comics, but I haven't really read anything yet. But today I picked up that C-3PO comic.
James Robinson, Tony Harris.
Yep, one of the 3 Star Wars comics I've ever bought.
Wow. Yeah.
The other 2 were the Tag and Bink comics.
Right. Those are great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are. So I guess this is my first serious Star Wars comic I've ever bought. But I only bought mostly because of James Robinson and Tony Harris.
It does look fun, though.
Yeah.
As far as serious Star Wars comics go.
But yeah, I like those guys. I enjoyed their work together on Starman.
Sure.
And they have a new thing coming out, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like years ago, Tony Harris started a Kickstarter for a book he was working on called Round Eye.
Okay.
And I think he was asking for like a crazy amount of money. And he was just like, "Oh, this is like what it would take for a company to pay me to draw this." and there was a little controversy about it, and then I guess it got funded, but then it just never happened.
Oh wow.
So apparently now he's trying it again, but he got James Robinson to come on board and write it for him, and they both co-own it now.
Is that for more money though?
Yes.
Oh.
They're going through GoFundMe now, and he's asking for $100,000.
What?
Yep.
But he was already paid.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
like he's promising that like if it gets funded and he's able to do it, like all the people who backed his Kickstarter will get like everything that they got like with their rewards package or whatever.
Right.
But he's just asking for more money to pay for the publishing and the writing and the art and all that. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. It's a little shady to me, but
a little bit.
but he's been like talking about it a lot online and about how, because there's like 3 different comic series that he started and like never finished, like Chin Music and War Heroes.
Yeah, I remember
something
War
else.
Heroes.
Yeah,
Obergeist? Or not? They finished that.
they finished Overgeist. Yeah, or he did. Yeah. But yeah, he said like he explained that Mark Miller basically like just never finished
War Heroes.
So like there was nothing for him ever to draw.
Sure.
And then like Steve Niles was writing Chin Music, and he said like Steve Niles' like house got flooded, and then like he had to like move, and so like he just never got back and wrote any more of it. Yeah.
That makes sense.
But still, yeah, it's a little weird.
Right. A little shady.
Yeah.
He's a good artist, though.
He is very good. And, he's had some controversy with some of his opinions and
sure.
But, I don't know. He's still a really good artist.
That's exactly what I said about Liefeld earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Opinionated but good.
Yeah. But yeah, so, you interested in watching a movie with me?
I like watching movies with you.
All right. Well, I've got one that I've been wanting to pick for quite a while. But I kind of put a moratorium on horror films.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Because we'd watched like 20 in a row.
Yeah. And this one, it's not exactly a horror film, but it's also a horror film. It's a horror western.
Okay.
Starring Kurt Russell.
I'm in.
Called Bone Tomahawk.
Never heard of it. How old is it?
Like a year?
Oh, okay.
Maybe less.
I'm super excited. I had no idea this existed. Bone Tomahawk?
Yep.
What a great name.
Yep.
Yeah. And a Kurt Russell?
Yep.
Okay, I'm in. Is there a Rob Liefeld commentary track?
We'll call him up.
Okay.
See if just have him, talk about it while we watch it.
He's going to be in town in a few months. So.
Yeah, in September, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Which is
it's close enough to town.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I mean, I'll be in the same room with him.
That's so cool. You've made it. Yeah, I'm hopefully going to be in the same room with him.
Yeah?
Whether I'm just a attendee or whatever, but
right.
I'm going to try to meet the fella.
That's cool. You should totally go.
Yeah. I think I will. But yeah, Bone Tomahawk. That sounds great.
All right.
Horror Western.
Yep.
Wow.
Kurt Russell.
Hey, what can go wrong?
All right. So we'll do that soon, hopefully.
Sweet.
All right.
I guess I should probably let my dog in.
Probably.
She's been, I don't know if the listener can hear, she's been scratching at the door for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
very slowly.
She's fine.
Oh no, it's fenced in.
Yeah.
And it's not raining. So
No,
she's good.
All righty then. Well, take it easy.
You as well.
Goodbye. Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.